Resistance GB here again with King Nico. And yeah, Nico, you've got some big news for us. So do you want to just talk about what's happening over in Canada with the resistance?
So yeah, sorry, I just drove 5 hours back from the capital today with Dylan Green here. 17 days straight in Ottawa since the arrival of the convoy. Um, yeah, our War Measures Act has now been passed. It was the Emergencies Act passed a couple of days ago, but now it's full on War Measures Act. And it's the second time this has happened during peacetime. And the first time it happened in 1970 when the deputy was kidnapped. And Pierre Trudeau passed it then, and now it's been passed again today. Wow, it's been epic.
So what essentially has happened is there has been a declaration of war in Canada against you and the
People.
truckers.
The people, yeah, the blue-collar people have been declared war on them.
They've
Exactly.
literally declared war against you. So do you know? Can you tell us what sort of powers does this give them to use against you?
They can just start detaining people and taking them away. They can freeze their bank accounts without warrants. They can now pull the insurance from the truckers and then start taking their trucks because they give them tickets for not having insurance and having the truck on the road. So it's going pretty far. But the cops, I don't think they're gonna start enforcing it. They haven't been pushing what the news has been saying. It's just not like that down there. It's not at all. They're walking around like they're going to invade somewhere, but they're smiling at us. They're saying hi if we say hi to them. But
so there's a bit of a disparity then between the police on the ground and what's going on in the
big time
Parliament building or in Trudeau's bunker.
Yeah.
And our Canadian military. All our veterans have been standing with the convoy, with the freedom movement, with all of us here. So I can't see what powers they're going to use. Like he said, apart from detaining and giving tickets, like, could they really possibly call in the police like we saw in Paris the other day? Or it could be the military. But like you said, our country's currently split down the middle when it comes to serving Trudeau, Castro, right? Or defending the people. So it's all happening, developing minute by minute here, and it's just not stopping, and it's really gathering some serious momentum and traction and worldwide interest. I was talking to Turkish news today, TRT, in my hotel lobby. And I was asking them how long they're planning on staying. So they're not going anywhere. They know things are ready to happen. So I was like, okay, interesting. So yeah, media frenzy. Fox News, every country is there just hanging out on corners, filming and reporting. So that's what you've seen too, right?
Yeah, and I just seen too on the news, they were talking about how they took down the barriers at the War Memorial, and they were like giving it negative press. I was there and seen it. It was veterans that took it down to pray around the memorial and sing "O Canada."
Yeah.
And the news is spinning it like they went and messed with the barriers and they're walking all over the War Memorial. It was like probably 150 veterans, if not more.
Very unique times here. Like I said, we've never experienced anything like this. So I'm going to let you ask some more questions. Sorry, we're so excited with what's been happening. You could just imagine.
So I wanted to ask about what were the effects, because last time we spoke to you, they basically, it was just before we went on air. We found out when we were on air that they declared this state of emergency. So could you give us a few more details about what happened with this state of emergency and how that was enforced, or what actually happened?
So yeah, the last time we spoke, the state of emergency was just within Ottawa in the capital there. And then, like, you were there? What
the only thing that actually happened during this whole time that I seen, the whole 17 days, was cops raided this place called Coventry. That was a camp, and they started taking gas. Yes. They raided it like a full SWAT team and started taking gas. And then I seen a video of a cop, and he was saying, we got called in. We got told there was a whole bunch of stuff happening here. He's like, because of what I seen, he's like, when I get back, I'm done. He's like, I'm turning my badge in. Like it's getting that dirty. Like they're even messing with the cops, telling them like, you guys got to hit this place. They're planning this, they're planning that, and the cops are getting there and being like, what the hell?
So that was the instant powers that were given to them through that state of emergency in the capital. Like they were taking people's firewood that they were needed for their family. They were taking all the diesel and arresting people. They were arresting people for honking their horns.
A little old man.
Right? So
Honk honk.
then a few days later, it became a state of emergency in the whole province of Ontario, right? So then it started to get a bit more bigger, and now I've just been in Ottawa this whole time. So I've just been there, taking in everything. We ran into Maxime Bernier last night in the lobby too. So I've been trying to send you guys the footage, but the networks are honestly against us there. Nothing is getting in or out pretty much. So
yeah, you said about the networks before, because you tried going live for us about a week ago and it didn't work out because it was just so hard getting a signal. You said that the two main networks had sort of gone down or something. Could you elaborate a little bit?
They did and make an announcement. So the two biggest networks are Rogers and the Bell network. So they did confirm that they were having issues specifically in Ottawa. I mean, they weren't pretty much saying why, but obviously we know why. They don't want any truth getting out there, right?
So do you believe that this is an attempt by them to shut off the signal then? Because obviously, like, I understand that they're when there are a lot of people in a place, it's hard to get a signal through. But then you look at the you look at the actions that Trudeau has taken, and you look at how he's consistently broken the law. So do you think that this is another one of his ploys?
Oh yeah, I'll post a selfie and get like 170 likes, and then I posted an interview with a veteran, an actual war veteran down there with wearing his uniform. I got 3 likes.
So everyone is
it's dirty down there.
And like Dylan Hare is like pretty much like new to like that kind of scene, and a lot of people are experiencing for the first time this shadow ban that I myself experienced for the last decade easy. So a lot of people that are used to just getting like, you know, traction on anything they post, once they've come to Ottawa and they're posting things regarding the convoy and the truckers, they've seen their thousands of views go down to, like he said, 1 or 2, and then their alarm bells are going off, and they're realizing that they're hiding and preventing the happiness that we're experiencing, all the love and the actual freedom. So that is an act of war from the government on us, the people, by tampering with the networks, by shadow banning through the platforms and these apps, right? So
I guess we can see that this is sort of, you know, the information war, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what he's been saying.
It's
the information war. Exactly.
It's that's what it is. And that's the cool thing about that, though, is that information war can stay peaceful. And if the people want to receive the information, then they'll soak it in, right? And if you go down there, it's all love, and the people are saying, like, yeah, it's a love revolution. Like, it's still a revolution. Things are going to change, and people aren't going to leave. But if you want to start arresting families, and like, that's not going to look good, you know, like I don't know if it's going to go that far. We're going to see dumb videos. People are going to get hurt. You know, things might get dark for some people. But as far as the army coming in, like, that's, from what I've seen in 17 days, I've been there since day one. It's not happening.
What steps do you think Justin Trudeau is going to take now? Because he has these emergency powers that he's going to use. He said that everything was on the table, which is quite menacing. Like, what do you think he's going to do next? Or do you think he's going to... I just heard this from some of the truckers, so I haven't checked it out yet, but I heard that Trudeau has a deal with China where they can legally have as many standing army soldiers as they want in Canada. So if he starts bringing over Chinese soldiers, that's the only way that I see any of these measures getting actually used. He can say whatever he wants on camera and try and say they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But unless he's got a willing army to go and attack families and loving people, it's not going to go anywhere. And if he does that, I'm hoping some countries will get involved. You know, I hope it doesn't go that far, but you know, might go there, and it might. But from what I've seen, they're not going to get people to be able to enforce it. It's too much love. It's not people screaming and shouting. It's families singing and dancing. And,
yes.
You know, it's.
And I have so much footage of it, and I was trying to make the uploads while they're in Ottawa. near to impossible. They're telling me it's like 40 hours to upload like a 3-minute video. So I had to cancel everything. And now I'm home. I'm going to be pumping it out, making sure it's getting out there.
This is really, really important footage, especially, you know, you can say that these families are singing, it's love, it's dancing, it's all this lot. If they try and say it was anything else, well, we've got the proof, you've got the video footage that it wasn't like that.
So I got a story last night from a restaurant. They haven't been able to pay their rent for 2 years. A couple went in there and it was only takeout only, and they decided to sit down at the table and eat. And the owner didn't really do anything, and more customers came in, and there was more freedom fighters that were here from the convoy, and everyone just started to sit in there. And then that couple spoke to the owner and said, look, if you just remain open, we will sell you out, and you will, like, there's people here, we'll bring you business, right? And 2 weeks later, this business is booming. I ate at this restaurant last night, and it's like a miracle story. And I ran into the couple that helped start it. I got their interview. I got video with them and the owner. So I'm looking forward to getting that out there tonight.
Well, that sounds really good. I'd love to have that footage over. What I wanted to ask as well is, you've talked about these sort of essentially this declaration of some sort of martial law. They want to bring in the army.
The War Measures Act.
The War Measures Act.
Yeah, it's actually called the War. Yeah. So it was only ever, like, I think, I'm not sure if I just said it, but yeah, it was obviously announced in World War I and II, but the first time it was ever invoked through peacetime was Pierre Trudeau in 1970 through a kidnapping. And now
just so happens to be the sun that invokes it again.
Unbelievable. So here we are. So it's officially gone down.
Well, it's the sun.
Yeah.
You know, and talking of suns, we got a roasting of that in the British press. You've appeared now. You've appeared now. You've made the mainstream media in this country because they've been attacking us.
Wow. Yeah, there's the sun. There's the sun over here too. So it's the same. The sun in Britain as well. What is up with them lot? So
same rag. Yeah, but they mentioned our live chats. They mentioned you by name. So obviously they weren't. They thought that they weren't happy about that.
Of course they're not happy.
They said apparently I'm leading an army to besiege London. So
yeah.
With
so
love,
I've heard
with love and hugs.
I'd like to know where this army is, like where I'm stashing it. But
yes,
I mean,
where are we stashing it?
All over the world now, so many countries are doing this convoy thing because of Canada.
And there have been people down we didn't, it wasn't the biggest protest, but I think it was about 3 miles long, the protest that was going around the M25, and then a small contingent of them made their way down to Scotland Yard, so Westminster, right next to Parliament, right next to Scotland Yard. And yeah, there's a small contingent that are still camped out there. So they did a protest. Obviously things have eased off more over here. The one thing I wanted to ask though was this War Powers Act. How is it that they've managed? How have they even got into the Parliament building? How is anything functioning when it's surrounded? Like, are they going in via secret tunnels, or?
I think they're going in through the back, but people aren't being rude. Like, people are just letting, like, you'll see someone yell at a politician, like, you know, stop lying or something like that. But people are just, you know, being loving down there, dancing, listening to speeches. It's such a genius idea. Whoever's pushing this is the way to do it is genius, because they can't get anyone to enforce anything.
No, they're there. I saw politicians this morning, not anything. The one that I see them, that you can tell by the way they dress. It's Monday morning. You see the suits, and you're like, oh, they are here. This is work day. They're going to work for real during this. So, but yeah, they're around and they are getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just sort of walking in as if it's completely normal, and they're completely fine.
Yeah. Well, with their masks on, head down, just like looking at the ground. And some people will be like, "We love you. We're just waiting for you guys to wake up." Like, it's hilarious.
Oh, that's all
and they're saying that this is now a war zone that they're operating in. That they still walk in normally to work, and they just get heckled by a few people.
Probably now that these measures are put in, it'll probably go to some sort of Zoom or something, and they'll start saying they're scared. But as of now, like, I've seen plenty of politicians down there. The only one that won't even show his face is Trudeau.
So Yeah, exactly. They're calling it a war zone, but like you said, we've seen bouncy castles. There's so much food. I had like 8 meals yesterday just by walking around town. There's pizza ovens, there's soup tents, there's everything you can imagine and more. There was pancake breakfast, everything. So nothing but love. I'm still in shock by what I've witnessed and experienced is a nation and humanity coming together, like for real, like becoming like it's become a give nation, right? No one's asking for anything. Everyone's so giving and loving, and it's the safest I've ever felt in my life. I think crime has dropped down to
drastically.
0 in Ottawa. So the convoy has made crime disappear in the capital.
Like I was walking around with the veterans one night, and we were finding like people that were sleeping outside and bring them to a tent, giving them food. Like they're making the city better. There's people shoveling snow. There's people picking up cigarette butts. Like they're not. So if they keep doing this, and then on the weekends, the protests keep getting bigger and bigger. The first weekend, I heard it was 1.2 million. The second was 2.5. I haven't heard a number for this weekend, but I'm guessing it's 4
million.
And it was freezing.
People.
It was freezing.
And it was the coldest weekend ever. There was children everywhere, and everyone's still having the best time.
And they'll just hold the line this week, and then Saturday maybe 8-10 million, and then more countries do it, and they're not stopping.
This was the first Saturday that I legitimately could not like move. You know what I mean? Like people were just there, like because I wanted to film and get stuff, but there was no space. It actually filtered from the Parliament Hill down to 2 blocks down, just people lining every street. Drummers, there was people dressed up as characters and Pokemon characters and Sesame Street characters. It was just like the most amazing thing I've ever seen and experienced. And people waving from their windows and children.
People that live there. That live there. There was a whole family with signs that said like waves are free and thank you. Yeah. And then I seen like a brigade of like 15 cops walk by, and this mother must be in her 50s, opens the window and yells freedom down at the cops.
I actually posted
and
that
she
on
lived
YouTube.
She lived in Ottawa, like it was her home.
I was able to get some stuff out onto the YouTube, but yeah, I've never seen not just one beautiful moment. It's just so many. I'm still trying to grasp everything, process everything. It's like so much, but of the right thing, you know what I mean, that we've never had before. So we're definitely going to keep this going. And to speak about the press and stuff, like they're everywhere. Our Canadian media is hiding their logos in Ottawa. So I got approached, me and this guy got approached by what appeared to be just like students, a guy and a girl with a regular camera. So this, is it all right if we speak to you, right? So I was like, yeah, sure. Spoke to them. A few hours later, everyone's messaging me, you were on global national news. I'm like, what? No, I wasn't. I couldn't believe it. And then I saw it for myself. I was like, wow, these sneaky buggers, they're going around, like they're very inconspicuous now, right? So
that's
maybe,
what
that's
what a lot of them around here have done, because they realize they're hated.
And if you see like Rebel News or Fox, they're blasted with their logo, just loaded right up.
I guess because they've learned now, after trying to cover us for whenever, we just walk past them and call them fake news. You know, especially if we see the CBC and the CTV
CNN
and Global.
Hiding right out.
But Fox News has been killing it. Honestly, I feel like Fox News has definitely been for us. That I've never seen anyone diss another premier. So Fox News has been giving it hard to the Castro Trudeau. Yeah.
And speaking of Castro Trudeau, so you said he's the only one who's not been seen. Has he actually made it into the Parliament?
Yes, I've seen him in there, and I've seen him get up and walk out twice. So once he was getting just roasted by this lady in the Conservative Party, and he got up and walked out. And then they brought it up, like the Liberal Party brought it up, saying, what are we going to do about this? And they were asking him, and he got up and walked out. He's just not.
Yeah, I think he spoke today at 4:30 p.m. So we were driving. I haven't had time to check up on that, but it is constant, right? So
he's getting out via the secret tunnels, I presume.
I guess the one where he's freaking trafficking all his kids, or who knows, man. Like he's got tons of those things.
Yeah, lots of people in the comments here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Incredible, right? So
it's beautiful down there.
There's still blockades at the United States-Canada border as
So,
well?
so what happened with that? There was a standoff, and like because the War Measures Act was invoked, people were getting arrested. So I believe they took it down. I'm not too sure. I was trying to speak to Chris. He's actually over there. So is Kellyanne Wolf. I was hoping for her to jump on, but yeah. So that's
Yeah, I
another
saw
thing
Kellyanne
happening.
jump onto the backstage, but her camera didn't appear to be coming out.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
yeah.
didn't pop her on. I was waiting to her camera set up. So I don't know whether you want to send her
Okay,
over a
I'll
message,
message
see if
her.
she
But
can
yeah,
jump
Kelly
on.
was there in Windsor with Chris Sky. So I'm here. I guess you couldn't hear me. I'll have to come next time. Okay, sorry. She says they're messing with her connection. So I'm just gonna message her quickly. Say we're waiting for you, Kelly, if you're here. So.
And as far as the freezing the bank accounts, what the truckers are getting into now is they're jumping into crypto. They're accepting Bitcoin, they're accepting altcoins, and they already made an NFT. I think they're gonna start minting it soon. Like they're not gonna stop this.
Yeah.
So wait, they're now minting their own currency essentially.
Their own NFTs, yeah. They're making NFTs.
Seen it myself. I sat in with a trucker yesterday morning, and just like the first it's not even 5 minutes. People are coming by. He's getting out. He's giving hugs. Like the way the people look at them, like these are our heroes, right? People are giving them the $100 bills, food, love. Like I witnessed it. I can't wait to upload the footage and send it to you. But it's mind just blowing. I've just the people. I've never seen this before, so I'm still getting used to seeing it. It's the best thing I've ever experienced, and the world needs to get on this, and that's why this freedom convoy. I know there's we don't know too much about the organizers of the convoy. There's a lot of hearsay going on, but still we're running with it. We're hoping that our lead guys and our resistance here can somehow get more involved and take control over whatever the organization is of it, because they're not really running it properly. So yeah, we don't want it to end, right? There's a way of doing this so that the government can't end it without giving us back what we are doing this for, right? So
getting the information out.
Exactly.
That's why they'll stay. The reason they're staying is because they know that what they're doing is right. And if they just hold that line, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And these are truck drivers who live in their trucks. So for them to be at a party where they're getting free food, they're getting $100 bills handed to them. I was bringing truckers to the Airbnb we were at, letting them have a nap, a shower. We were cooking them dinner. Like they're living like kings out there. They're not going anywhere until this is done. And they're standing up for what's right. So they don't have anything to be scared about. So that they're not leaving. And I've been hearing from truckers that they're like, every time they arrest one trucker, we got 10 employees of those companies that'll come out with trucks and just take 10 spots to one. They want to start arresting us, we'll flood this place. Because there's not even as many truckers as there could be. Like they're trying now to move more out of the downtown area and just circle Wellington. They're not trying to mess with the city of Ottawa. They're just going right after the government, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So could you explain a little bit about what's going on in Wellington then?
So Wellington is the street where Parliament Hill is, where our head parliament is, where the politicians meet.
That's the hill.
That's the hill. That's the provincial hill. So what they're doing now is they're getting more out of the core, because it was just scattered across the city. But now it's been 17 days. Some of the residents aren't really liking that there's a bunch of trucks running and people up and down the street. So they're just circling. They've got permission even. They made a deal with the mayor. They got permission to make it like a parade line and take up a huge line. And now they're going to be around certain areas. Like it's getting progress. And some people think, oh, that's going backwards. They're getting trapped. It's like, how are you going to arrest thousands of truck drivers that have all this planned out? They have people that'll come in. They know what they're doing.
The government's treading on very.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time and information.
The whole country is watching.
The quicker they end it, the better it's going to be for them. Like all these politicians are corrupt. The more that it stays, the more these politicians are getting found out about. So it's like they're going to start jumping ship and starting to turn on their own politicians, in their own party, and start flipping around. And it's just a matter of time before they all fall.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Speaking of dissent, have you seen any sort of chinks in their armor? Have there been
one of the liberal parties left the party, I think, yesterday, He walked right out of his party. The conservative leader wasn't supporting the truck convoy. They took him out. They put a new conservative leader in. There's a bunch of changes going on.
And the new leader, what do you think of him, the so-called conservative?
I think some of these people are trying to do what's right now, but they're all corrupt. They all got something going on with them. But we do need some sort of government. So I think it's just taking it down and bringing it back up. And yeah, I think PPC is good, but Bernier's messed up or with those World Economic Forum guys too. But the decision they make now can change, right? People do change. They see the writing on the wall. They find out truths. I'm not saying they're all bad people, but they're all got some kind of corruption behind them. That's the business they're in.
So does this protest end when the current establishment, the current government resigns from their post?
I think that when the mandates get dropped and they make sure that it's not a QR code flip, because the truckers, whoever's doing, they got lawyers. It's not just truckers making these deals. They got lawyers, negotiators. So they're making sure that they can't pull these mandates. The truckers leave and they throw them back on. Like now they're trying to say, oh, we'll drop them March 1st. And thinking, oh, the truckers will leave and then we'll just do something. That's not going to happen. They're not leaving until I've heard truckers say, I'm not leaving till I can leave my truck here, jump on a plane with no vaccine, no mask, and fly home. I'm not leaving until that happens. And then once that happens, I think that there will be enough people that are politicians that'll have flipped by then, who will then be able to start doing more for what the people want, understanding that if they try to go down this road again, they're going to have another thousands of trucks show up at Parliament.
But are people proposing some sort of constitutional change? Because people are saying, okay, well, we need this to stop, but it's sort of how... What are the constitutional proposals to make sure this doesn't happen again? And also, what are the proposals in order to hold the people to account who have enforced this criminality?
So actually, we watched the live.
He wrote the charter.
Yeah,
the
Charter
Charter
of
of
Rights.
Rights.
The Charter of
One of
Rights.
the guys that wrote it.
So he did a press conference with the truck convoy organizers. I saw Tamara Litch was there, and I was just watching as I was driving and listening. So yeah, that was what's going on. They actually have one of the writers of
the only one left that's alive.
Charter of Rights.
He's the only one left that's alive.
Wow.
And what he was basically saying was that they're just not listening to the Charter of Rights. So unless there's enforcement, he can't really do anything. But if there's enforcement of this, that's a legitimate act of war. Like I don't know what to say about where this goes for that, because I don't think it's going to be enforced. I really, really don't think they're going to be able to have the power to enforce these insane things that they're saying they're going to do. And if they don't enforce that, the only one, in my opinion, right away that needs to actually go to jail would be Trudeau. The rest of them, people are going to have investigations, and it's going to be a lengthy process.
And enough of the information has gotten out now to our nation and to the world that what the media has said about this white supremacist truck convoy is lies. Millions of people have shown up on the weekends and throughout the week and have seen for themselves and have felt it, and are now just... everyone is just in awe of what is happening. And if the government does pull these measures and sends in whatever they want to send in, it will be them giving in their hand, showing their evil hand, right? And there's already enough of our nation, millions, that will see it and definitely go against them and know that there was no reason for it. It went, because remember, it was a small fringe minority, and it quickly went from small fringe minority to state of emergency, right? And now we've got the War Measures Act, so people are catching on.
And there is an international crimes against humanity trial going on. I don't know exactly who's running it, but I've watched videos of them talking about it. And it was day 6 of the convoy was day 1 of a crimes against humanity trial. So they are bringing it up. It's just a matter of time, information, and that's why this idea of holding it down with love and just being peaceful about it, because these things take time if you want to get them done right. If you don't want to have anything that doesn't need to happen.
And do you have confidence in the system, the courts, that, if they did sort of take this back, that do you have confidence in the machine to actually operate? Because at any stage, obviously, judges could have come forward. They could have said, no, this is illegal. They could have, putting injunctions against what the government was doing. You know, you
I-
could have had. Sorry.
No, bro. I think that it's just going to flip on their head with the amount of people that are going to start waking up to what's going on. They're going to be like the whole world's watching now. So if there is judges that are corrupt, they could have been corrupt before, but now you got the entire world watching, and people are start showing, like, they're going to mayors' houses and honking horns. Their phone lines are going off about all the MPs. You got people that are millionaires now getting involved, because you got a lot of people who got tricked with this stuff, who are powerful people, and they got tricked. And they're starting to be like, what? You know, and there's big money getting put into this, and it's
we're
going
seeing
crazy.
As the weeks have gone by, I've seen more and more different personalities show up, showing their support. More and more, cultures showing up, doing their own thing, showing support. So it has grown, right? It is spreading and it is gaining traction, and we are winning the people over.
Yeah, it's the type of people too. So first Saturday I was there, it was all blue collar truckers. You know, that's who was there. There was a lot of us, like, you know, a million people, and the freedom fighters. You know, there was the people that been doing this since day one. The second weekend was, you know, families and a bunch of blue collar people. The third weekend was just all walks of life, all ages, all races,
everyone
everything.
had to see for themselves, and everyone that comes here is telling everyone else, you have to see it, you have to go, just go to Ottawa. I'm seeing it all.
That's what I've been telling people, like, don't come stay like I am, you don't got to be down like that, but if you want to come walk around, see what's going on, eat some food, like, you just show up there. You can park your car in the middle of the street and walk around and get free food, sing and dance in front of Parliament.
So what are you seeing in terms of the numbers between the big protests at the weekend? Because you're saying millions at the weekend. What are you seeing outside of the weekend as in a permanent presence? Because that's probably when they're most likely to strike.
Yeah, I'd have to look that one up, to be honest. But if I could make a ballpark guess, I've been there for 3 weeks. There's not less than 80,000 protesters in that city at a time
throughout the week. Yeah.
Wow.
80,000. That's an army.
That's incredible.
That's not that many trucks, but there's that many people. Yeah, because there's people in cars, SUVs, hotel rooms are all booked up, Airbnbs are all booked up, and they're just rotating. And people get off work, then the families come after dinner time. You know, it's insane. And like what they're showing on the news is a couple thousand trucks on Wellington. And that's why the truckers will say, okay, we'll make that deal. We'll put all our trucks on Wellington, because now every video you guys put out, it's going to show this street's packed. You can't just show the streets that are died out. You know, because the cops are actually the ones blocking streets off, and that's where the media goes and makes videos with his 3 trucks behind them.
So that's another part of their Measures Act. They've been able to block off highways. So we were in Ottawa all weekend, but Toronto again tried to do the convoy, but the police, they blocked off the highway to prevent any truck convoys trying to get in. So the Gardiner Expressway was shut down to a mere lane. So that would have been terrible to sit in that, because it's horrible enough anyway without the closures. And they block off certain streets with the cop cars to prevent anyone getting in unless you live there or you go in there for work.
And I just seen in the comments, the hotels aren't booked up. It's the government buying a bunch of them. That's true. There is a bunch of hotels that are getting bought up by the government, but there's a lot of hotels that are supporting. I would say it's 50-50 down the middle. 50% of them are legitimately empty. And there's been videos of like 30 cops in the underground garage. And then there's hotels that are full of just protesters and truckers and freedom fighters and everybody else. It's really, even the businesses, some Subways are open, some Tim Hortons are open, some cafes are open, some places are closed down. It's 50-50 on the whole city running.
So you've got a real split in there. Can I ask, you said about some truckers getting grabbed by the police over there. Yeah, do you want to explain how many people have been grabbed? How regular of an occurrence
I honestly think only 4 or 5 people have been arrested. 2 truckers got arrested for not showing ID when they raided that place for gas. And I heard of another one getting arrested. I don't know what for. Nothing violent, anything serious. And then one got arrested and ticketed for honking.
Yep.
Yeah. Are they getting legal help? Is anyone helping them with like...
Oh yeah, there's so many. There's like active lawyer groups, advocate lawyer groups. There's it's basically a city down there. Like if you can think of everything a city has, it's down there for the truckers, for the people down there fighting. They got free restaurants. They got lawyers that are there. Even if you get a ticket, They have lawyers there for you.
Tell them about the war room. There's a war
Yeah,
room.
there's rooms where people are talking about things, making deals. Negotiators are doing updates in different hotels. Like it's very organized and it's working out extremely well. It's not the quickest thing and it's not getting the coverage that it should, but from my eyes down there for 17 days, they literally have built a city of love.
Yeah, you
Like
watched it
an
grow.
entire, yeah, I watched it grow. Like weekend 1, there was a couple people giving out food. Weekend 2, there's a few tables. Weekend 3, they have full out tents and they've built makeshift houses and they have kitchens and they're making hot food now. It's not just soup and sandwiches. They they have omelets in the morning, bacon omelets and sausages and potatoes. It's crazy.
Soup, vegan this, vegetarian that, like more food you can get from an inside place. So it's absolutely amazing how they've just taken to the streets and we've taken it over. And you know, I'm waking up in the morning, getting breakfast, and then joining a dance party somewhere. There's music playing, there's people having fun. It's just, yeah, absolutely beautiful times, and I cannot wait to get back there. Right?
You're making me hungry now.
Yeah. So yeah, what's it like over there? Any freedom convoys been able to get going in London? Or anywhere, Manchester, Birmingham, anywhere. I'm not sure.
So it was about 3 miles of the M25 from the reports we've heard were taken up by mostly cars, not trucks, because over here it tends to be all of the trucks are owned by the company. So you'll have, Eddie Stobar or different logistics companies. And because we've not reached that sort of critical momentum over here, because they've been winding things back. Johnson announced recently that everything's going to get wound down in about a month or something like that. So it's like
it's quiet here.
They are winding things back, but then there are all of the other issues to sort of press upon, especially the sort of the medical issues, which there have been sort of more developments on. Hopefully, we're going to be going through some of that data over on Odyssey tomorrow. I just want to thank all of the people on Odyssey who are watching, by the way. We've got Sean in here. So hello to Sean watching on Odyssey, and we've got a few people watching over there. So thank you.
Can I just ask about the supply lines then? So is there going to be trouble with the supply lines being blocked by these convoys?
No, not at all.
I don't really like there's going to be price hikes and there might be some select things that are a little bit shorter in supply, but I don't think it's going to stop because there's so many big companies that still are operating their trucks, and truckers are moving off the road and leaving one lane for commerce. Like they're not at war with the people. They're at war with the mandates and with the government and with the tyranny that's going on. They're not trying to.
Yeah, sorry. This is the thing, though, isn't it? They have been orchestrating supply line problems, and could they blame it on the Canadian truckers? Could that be like a media narrative?
That's already going on. There's people taking videos in grocery stores where the shelves are empty and the prices are huge. Walmart's putting metal grating over steaks. But if the people want to believe that stuff, like come down and eat some free food in Ottawa then, if you're really that hungry.
Well, exactly. Well, if Ottawa is where the main siege is, and you can literally just walk down the street and get free food.
Yeah, it's full occupation, like legitimately, and the fact that it's gone on for 3 weeks, possibly a 4th week, we're not sure, but we're going to make sure we're there holding it down, making sure everyone knows the truth once they get it out there. It's absolutely insane how it's so difficult to post and share something in this day and age.
Can I say hello to Ranta? We've got someone from New Zealand in here. And have you seen them doing the hacker? We were watching that earlier. Have you seen them
perform? Dance, the hacker?
Yeah, the war dance.
Party?
Yeah.
I learned that in England, actually. We used to do that in our school there. Loved it. I definitely would like to see that again.
Well, I mean, you've inspired people all around the world. I wanted to ask about these negotiations, though, because you sort of hinted that you weren't entirely sure about what was going on with the negotiations. Can you let us know what's the situation?
So there's a couple of things, right? There's the Freedom Convoy organizers, right? Then there's like the resistance, the originals that stood up from day one. Dylan here was witnessed some of the things, and a lot of people are seeing that there's not really. I don't really know because I haven't looked into it, but there's just just some certain red flags. So once I figure it out and I talk to more people,
it's more like the energy of the people, and I think it's because they're the ones that are having to deal with everything right at the second. And you got some people that are in there for the wrong reasons. You know, some people want to get rich off this, some people want to get famous off this, but there's still some really good people and everywhere, and everything's gonna work itself out with them. They're all here to stay. And the ones that aren't, they're going to leave. If this stays long enough, the ones who aren't about it aren't going to want to stay long enough.
That's what we have to talk about quickly. The GoFundMe pretty much got suspended. The government suspended the GoFundMe and refused to release the money. So they had to refund it to all the people that donated. So then they went to Give, Send, Go, is it?
And that got hacked.
Or canceled, right? Yeah. And the government put a stop to that too. So yeah, so people have been knocking GoFundMe. No one's ever gonna use GoFundMe ever again. And now we're just like, and then it happened with Give, Send, Go, which was supposed to be better and more safer, and that didn't work out. So now people are just like donate directly to the truckers. That's why people are just there. They go up to the truckers, they hug them, they just give them money hand to hand, which obviously.
And I think they're really getting into crypto and Bitcoin. Like I've heard they've already got a bunch of Bitcoin donated to them. So they're figuring it out. These are hardy people who live on the road driving alone. They'll figure things out to survive in a truck in a city with a whole bunch of them.
And the opposition party seem to be sort of coming round, do they?
The Conservative Party?
Yeah, and
they're starting to really say some things. The Trudeau and the Liberal Party, they're starting to take some shots, but you can tell that like it's funny because O'Toole wasn't backing the convoy up. He got booted, and then one person stood up, and a second person stood up, and then a Liberal Party member left, and then a third person, the Conservative, stood up. And now city councilors are standing up. It's politics. They're playing politics, and now they're seeing the people are actually for this movement, and there's going to be ones that jump over ship, and they'll just say whatever they got to say, and they're just going to fall over on each other.
Are you concerned that they're going to, create some sort of coalition or some sort of alliance and then sell the movement out in some sort of way?
I don't know, man. Like it's been so crazy down there. Nothing would surprise me. Like if you would have asked me that question 17 days ago, I probably would have had an answer for you. But things are happening so fast. People's minds are changing in both ways. Like the people that are anti-protesting are starting to get violent and steal. I seen a full-grown man steal a flag from a 13-year-old girl on video, take a flag from her, and the cops arrested him. But that's showing the world, like, look what's going on down here. You got people that are against the protests ripping flags out of little girls' hands. You got cops arresting old men for honking horns. That type of stuff just wakes up more people.
So I have seen a couple of videos with a few people in muzzles who've gone down to sort of oppose the protest. But how many people have actually gone down? Because I wouldn't guess many.
So the first Saturday, there was not a single anti-protest, and Elon Musk even tweeted that. He was like, the fact that there's no anti-protesters there shows like what's going on. And then the second weekend, I would say there was 20. The third weekend, there was quite a bit, and I read up and I looked into it. Trudeau funded $45 million to anti-protest.
So yeah, there was a counter-protest this weekend. It was pretty large, full of the the muzzle.
$45 million.
$45 million was put into anti-protesting funds. I don't know. You can't confirm any of this stuff, right? But that's what I've seen from multiple sources. And there was literally 20. I seen it. I've been there since day one. There was 20 anti-protesters. The second weekend, there was maybe one person running around. Like the first Saturday, there wasn't anti-protesters, but there was a few people. Like this one guy, he ran outside. He's like, I haven't fucking slept in 5 days. And he's like freaking out. But like, there wasn't an anti-protest. It's a very small one. The third weekend, there was, some numbers there, but not even remotely close.
There's way too many of us freedom people. Like I said, 4 million on Saturday of freedom-loving Canadians that will stand out in minus 20 degree cold just to to experience love and humanity coming together. And that's what it is. The weather's not holding anyone back. So it's like millions now. So
And the stories you hear down there are so amazing. Like the stuff you see, the stories you hear, why people are there, like it's phenomenal.
yeah, it really is. Like Chris Guy said, a beacon of light. Right?
Well, I do remember that Rebel News was doing some coverage of I think it was something to do with Trudeau bribing the MSM with handouts, some sort of handouts to support like the newspapers and whatnot and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that story.
I just started watching Rebel News when all this started. I watch more like American stuff and different things, but I seen Rebel down there, so I started following their stuff. But I just check a video here and there with them.
Well, can you tell me if we can't get anyone else on, is it possible if you tell us what's been happening at the border? Because we've heard about sort of paramilitaries moving in to sort of clear the border. What's going on down at the border?
So last time I seen a bunch of people link arms and stand in front of the cops and not let them arrest the truckers.
Standoff.
Yeah, they linked arms and they were singing "Oh Canada" and stuff like that. I did hear a couple truckers got arrested. They possibly could have moved from the bridge to a part of town that still blocks the bridge, but the bridge isn't actually physically blocked. I don't know if that's for photo ops or what, but they're still down there and they haven't all been arrested. They haven't all been sent away. A couple vehicles got towed, but none of the trucks. And they can't tow these trucks. For the one thing, the tow truck drivers in Ottawa, they said they had COVID. And then in Alberta, they actually said, yeah, we'll come tow the trucks. They showed up, they shut their keys off and they stayed. So that's what happened with the tow truck drivers. And then I've had like my family's truckers, and I've had some of the guys tell me, like, if they try and they try to run our fuel out and then think they're gonna move these trucks, we won't even be able to move them without bleeding all the airlines or all the brake lines all over the ground. Like, these people know what they're doing. Like, they're gonna have a huge environmental problem if they run us out of gas and try and move these trucks. They're gonna have brake fluid everywhere.
So it's literally not going to be possible to move them if they run out of fuel.
No, and like, not without bleeding every single truck that's down there's brake line and putting them on a massive tow truck, not just one that takes your car out of a ditch.
So the border is still running then, but there are just a bunch of truckers there at the border to protest.
I don't know. A couple of the borders are shut right down, and I don't know about Windsor.
I just messaged Kelly. She said that she can't get video or audio, but she was there trying to talk to you, but you didn't hear her. But I'm asking if the border's still under siege, because I know she was there yesterday. We message Chris and see if he can let me know too. But yeah, this is, like I said, everyone is fully involved. I feel like it's like, wow, we've just been in Ottawa. When you're in Ottawa, you're there. You don't know anything that's going on outside. It's
the Coots border, they've had lockdown since day one of the convoy. That's been shut down in Alberta. That's been shut down since day one, like 16, 17 days. And they have houses now, makeshift houses built with like little kitchens and food storage pantries, and like they're just living down there. They have mattresses on the ground and couches and heaters.
And so you're talking about Alberta. Alberta is probably the most sort of like liberal. I mean liberal as in actually liberal, not the fake Liberal Party, the actual like liberal regions of Canada. Because I mean, some of the lowest taxes is where you get the oil.
Oh, it's like our Texas. Yeah.
It's basically Canadian Texas.
Yeah, it's like our Texas. It's our blue collar home is Alberta, and they've been pushing back like crazy. Like Ottawa is a loving, peaceful party. The Coots border is just truckers living down there, and they're just chilling and hanging out. They're a bunch of blue collar playing the guitar, hanging out, having some beers, and they're just hanging out down there.
So what's it like in all of the regions? So what's it like over in Vancouver? What's it like? So you talked about Alberta. Have they actually sort of laid siege to the capitals over there, or
they got the bridge? They have the bridge and the border in Alberta. There's boys everywhere. I seen a picture. I think there's five border convoys right now, and I know on weekends people are doing small cities, everything. Like my little town of Cambridge had a bunch of trucks just show up at Parliament, start honking the horns. Toronto's doing it. All these cities are just jumping in all over Canada. And on Saturdays, like the really big day where you have people who are off work and they're just like, yeah, let's do this. Let's join what's going on.
So you got people descending on the sort of regional capitals every single Saturday, and
Yeah,
you've
every
got
Saturday, and
then you've got the
cars and
bridges,
trucks and
then you've got the
truckers.
capital over in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So it seems like you've got basically everything covered. You just need to hold the line then.
That's what the hashtag is, man. That's why I stayed. I'm like, this might get bad, but I couldn't see it. And I was there for 17 days. My mom was like, "Oh, please stay safe." I haven't felt safer. Like, I don't never not feel safe, but I haven't felt like more loving and more at ease. That's a better way to put it. Like the one time on Saturday, I took like a 4-hour nap because I was laying down and I didn't even need to turn on TV. I just had people walking up and down the street yelling freedom and like yelling love, and like you could just hear people laughing. And I was like, this is so comforting. Like, I love being down here.
So what do you think is going to be sort of the next move going forward then?
They're going to keep up with the scare tactics. I think there's going to be a bunch of, psyops going down. They're going to send some anti-protesters to start breaking windows or messing up buildings. I seen a budget truck. I actually seen this, a budget truck of a bunch of police officers get out of the back of it and go into the back of the Bank of Montreal across from Parliament. Like they're getting ready to do some stuff, but again, I think they're waiting for violence to start so they can start enforcing something. But is there going to be a big enough violent incident? This protest has been so peaceful.
So peaceful. They're going to have to fund a lot of like crazy anarchist type kids to come and really start something to trigger the cops to, but we're not going to let that happen.
One of the guys that's working at the stage, he seen a guy with a mask on in the morning and said, "Good morning." And the guy in the mask started screaming at him. And he just said, "I love you." The guy punched him in the face and he said, "Do you want a hug?" And then the guy started screaming at him again and then started jogging away. And like, that's the type of people that are down there. Like, they know what's going on.
So we talked about this a little bit before, but are you worried about false flags? Because
big time. The first Saturday when I was down there, there was a guy with a Confederate flag all dressed up in black with like a ski mask on. He got pointed out so fast. They ripped his mask off. They took the flag from him and they said, "Get out of here." And then what makes the news? Just the picture of the guy walking through the crowd. Doesn't make the news that they literally took his mask off, took video of him and threw him out of the crowd. Then there was a guy with a swastika Nazi flag. It said "Nazis go home" on it. So it was either an anti-protester or someone making a bad joke.
And you're right. It's going to have to be a serious false flag, because even their counter-protest was absolutely pathetically minimal compared to the 4 million we had. And they're not going to get 4 million to counter.
Yeah, they weren't even more than 1,500. Not even close.
Yeah, we'll give them 1,000 at least, right? Because, they're Muslim. There's enough of them. They can pull 1,000 together easy. But yeah, it's gonna take something big like a false flag, which I'm praying cannot happen. I don't think they can send in enough people to cause trouble, because there's too many of us that can stop them and put them in their place. So it's going to have to be something else.
Well, why do you think?
I'm not going to say what.
Well, why do you think if they've got the War Powers Act and they've just put that through, which now gives them the ability to move in the military essentially? How long ago was it that they put that through?
So they were calling for military last week with the state of emergency. They're calling in for military to come enforce safety, not enforce laws, but basically do what the cops were doing. The military said no. So then they put another measure through that's now getting them to enforce something. If they wouldn't even come down and police the place, they're not going to come down and start enforcing it. He's going to have to go some dirty way, like getting China or another country involved. That's the only way they're going to have enforcement.
It has to be another country. Right now, I can safely say the Canadian military, and
there's thousands of veterans down there.
There's so much veterans that were in the army. It's gonna, like, the way this freedom movement has spread. I'm a million% sure that the Canadian military the Canadian Armed Forces is right there in Ottawa, so they can see for themselves, right? So
I have an interview I can get over to you guys of a Army veteran for it's a 9-minute interview of the night I was with him 4 nights ago. Military gear. There's also a military veteran from Vancouver who's starting today to walk to Ottawa. He's gonna walk the whole way.
That's insane.
That's amazing.
from Vancouver.
Yeah.
That wow.
How
That's like
many
walking-
thousand miles is that?
I don't know. I just
It's
seen the
like-
video of him saying he's coming and that people can join him along the way.
It's like walking from Toronto across the Atlantic to London.
Yeah.
It's that because it's an 8-hour flight from here to Vancouver, and it's also an 8-hour flight from here to London. So I think that's a pretty good way. It's basically walking from Toronto to London.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope he listens to the Proclaimers on the way.
Yeah, please send us that interview if you have it. That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
we're gonna
I'd
get
love
that
to
as
see
soon as we get off. I'll be getting straight to work, getting all the videos, all his amazing interviews. We got interviews with Bernier, we got interviews with truckers. Oh my goodness, it's been amazing. I cannot wait to get back there. There's still so much to get done. It's an experience and protect, right? We're not there for the party, that's for sure. We're there for humanity, for everything to go smoothly and to make sure we get what we're there for, and we don't stand down. We're gonna hold that line and we're not moving anywhere. So there's gonna have to be something serious. So
Yeah, these are serious blue collar people that have nothing but love for their country. So they'll stand and they'll go as far as the government wants to push this. But I think it's more of, how low are they going to go? It's only going to come out. The lower they go, the more deep water that they're in. Like I said, I think a small incident might happen. And if that does happen, that'll wake the whole world up.
Yeah,
if they start attacking families down
it's
there.
been 3 Saturdays. We've had
No incidents, no major incidents.
It's now a 4th Saturday coming up this weekend if we get there, but I'm sure we will. And I'm sure they won't have an answer for more millions coming into Ottawa. So I'm just going to stay with that, make sure everything, again, continues to move forward, continue to wake up this nation and the world, because everyone's just I believe hooked. I know there was a Super Bowl yesterday, had zero interest in any sports or football games. So yeah, that's how powerful Ottawa is right now, with that beacon of light, with the vibe of love and give nation.
Well, Nico, do you want to let people know before we sort of round up where people can find you, where people can subscribe to your channels to see some more of your content?
Yeah, thank you. I actually saw some in the comments, amazing people in the comments. I see some of my subscribers in there sharing my link trees in there. So yeah, I'm at King Nico 18 on Instagram. I'm King Nico on Facebook. My YouTube channel is King Nico. So yeah, it should be pretty easy. And I'm also the founder and director of Crusaders of the Resistance. So
and you're wearing your outfit. So if there's anyone in
Yes.
Canada or even around the world, you can import them, I'm sure. But
Yep.
those are. Do you want to show off the merch a little bit?
Yeah, we got some shirts. They got writing on the back.
Yes, Crusaders of the Resistance.
Trucker hats
That,
for
we're
the
already
Freedom
ahead of the
Convoy.
game. So yeah, we've got truckers in the truckers hats there. These things are a hot item right now, so get them while they still last, right? So
I'm sort of thinking that maybe you rather than camouflage, it should just be white with the amount of snow that you're in.
yeah, right, yeah. Then they'll never find us, right? Yeah, that's
saying
the way.
do a red and white camo edition.
Yeah. Exactly. I love the Canadian. They're so proud to be Canadian. You see people with 3 flags at a time. It's just so beautiful to see. Just yeah. Even the Canada Day for the past 10 years combined could not touch what's happened the last 3 weeks in Ottawa.
Not even close.
Yeah, I heard it's like no other festival that Canada's ever had. It's like no other Canada Day. It's nothing like that. It's so much bigger than all
People
of
are
that.
saying people that went to Woodstock live are saying it blows it out of the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone wants to get noticed, any rappers, any musicians,
your name will get big. You show up there
Imagine.
on a Saturday, they'll let you up on stage if you're in the music or
performing in
whatever.
front of millions. Not
For
even
free. You don't even gotta pay for anything.
Drake and Beyonce performing for their concerts like 80,000. If you want to get seen, come to Ottawa, do your performance, and millions.
And they got proper
millions
sound
will
now,
see you.
proper like
massive big screen on the
TVs
stage now.
Like
It's
every
epic.
weekend it gets bigger and more organized. So like if you're an artist or if you got something to say and you're near Ottawa, or anywhere in Canada, get down there. You'll blow right up.
Yeah, seen all these personalities coming in. I got video of a rapper named Shoeshane. 19-year-old double jab too. So I've met lots of double jab people, and they're all coming and experiencing it, regretting. They were like, "Oh, well, I had to at the time, but now I regret it." So I've been hugging everyone, and everyone, people even got jabbed just to fly to get here. And I was like, "Wow, you don't have to do that,"
Yeah.
but people just did it because they wanted to experience. It's unbelievable. So some of those videos are already up on the YouTube channel, King Nico again. So. Lots more is going to be coming out. I'll be sending that to Wilsey and Laura, so they'll be posting on Resistance GB. I'm sure. Just gonna Swiss transfer it now. Now it should be able to send through. I'm not in peaceful, loving Ottawa. That's now under war emergency measures. Unbelievable.
It's a war of love and hate, man.
Yeah.
It's a war of love and hate.
And guys, if you also want to give Nico a sub on his Odyssey channel as well, just because
got one. Thank you,
obviously
guys.
facing a lot of censorship. So if you want to sub to Nico on Odyssey, and if he gets,
I really hope that this continues for you guys, because both of you look so happy.
That's
You're just
great.
glowing through the screen. So I know that
Oh, he was clean shaved when he started.
I got there with no facial hair.
So this is his
This is your freedom
convoy
it's my playoff beard.
Epic, absolutely amazing. Yeah, he said he's not cutting it until what?
Yeah, I'm not cutting it until all the mandates are dropped and
Nice,
Trudeau's
yeah.
out. I'll grow it
So-
down to here if I have to.
No,
will you
we'll
start
see.
plaiting it like a Viking though? That's the big question.
Oh, the plats, yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right, yeah. Well, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for turning up and giving us a rundown of what's happening. We really look forward to all of the footage,
Yeah.
so that we can start putting out.
Yeah, we'll put something together and we'll share it with
Yeah.
everyone. And
Maybe if I can gather Kellyanne and Chris Guy and Mr. Rob Primo and whoever wants to jump on, Vlad, Sobolev, I'll make sure I get everyone to come on, speak to you guys. But we're all scattered around this nation and doing amazing stuff here at the borders, in the capital, out west, out east. It's incredible. We finally got the momentum and the nation finally behind us. It's absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity, rather than a
All of
great
us
reset, to have a greater
opportunities.
reset.
Yeah, we
And
will
it's
keep
the-
crusading on.
the pride you must feel in your nation as well. And
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And I just made Instagram for the start of this stuff. It's at the Violent Guru. You guys can follow me. I'm keeping everything updated. I'm sharing everything.
Yeah,
So it's great. I just started I'm not into social media at all. My brother's actually like a musician, and then with all this stuff going on the last few months, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get into this stuff. Start sending some information around. So I keep up to date on sharing all that stuff. It's an information war. At the end of the day, that's what it is. The more people that wake up, the bigger this movement gets. The bigger the movement gets, the smaller the government gets. The smaller the government gets, the more freedoms we get back.
And the more pathetic and embarrassing they look, and just exposing. So.
And I guess if people, even if people don't really believe in the cause, they can just come down to annoy Trudeau and just watch him slowly get mad. Because
you can just come down. Yeah, you can just come down, and there's people yelling "F Trudeau." And they just walk through the streets, and I've seen 60-year-old couples walking up another street, "F Trudeau, F Trudeau."
Yeah. When we go to sleep, it's like peace and music. When you hear freedom,
and Trudeau's gotta go.
Or you hear the horns going, it's like music. It started 10 on the dot this morning, and I was like, oh, what? 10 a.m. rise? It's beautiful. And all you hear is
it's the trumpets of heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that sounds absolutely wonderful.
Incredible.
Right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to all of the people, especially who've joined us in AltTech. Thank you to our amazing mods. Thank you to anybody who's donated, so we can keep doing what we're doing and have restream and be able to stream to multiple channels now.
Thank you guys for talking to us and connecting like this. This is
Oh,
incredible.
we'll be talking again soon. Sorry, it's been I've been in Ottawa the last 5-6 days straight, so it's impossible to reach anyone outside of the city. So
even the cell phone, texting and calling is getting messed with. My calls are getting dropped.
I couldn't even find my car this morning. The GPS couldn't even find it, and I didn't even know where I left it. So I'm running around the city trying to find a car. I'm calling all the impounds, and they're like, "No, we're not towing anything there. It's got to be there." So the GPS, nothing's working, right? So that's how bad the networks are. Couldn't even find my car. That's 300 meters away, right? So
Well, hopefully, loads more footage in the coming days, and
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I'll be on it
people
as
will be
soon as
able
I
to see
get
what it's
up.
like on the ground. Right,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
so
thank you very much,
thank
and
you,
thank you
thank
to
you.
Guys.
thank you to everyone for watching.
Yeah, much
All
love,
the
everyone.
best, guys.